Unpredictable as the Great Lakes weather are the winners at the Lake Erie Speedway. But the cool air that blows in off the choppy waters of the lake proper may serve to build some serious horsepower as we get set to kick off our favorite show of the summer. We are in a beautiful part of the country this weekend, the northwestern corner of the Keystone State in the little town of Northeast on the shores of Lake Erie, a scenic farming community with plenty of friendly folks and roadside markets, but a mere 10-minute drive south on historic Route 89 will bring you to the site of a palace of monster power, the Lake Erie Speedway, where tonight the All-Stars return for a championship battle on the tarmac. In years past, this has been an unpredictable competition, and this year it gets even tougher to tell who will win with a field of second-generation phenoms ready to take on this now legendary racing facility alongside a famed family of rough trucks, Team Foytoy, doing battle in championship rough truck racing. Both monsters and the rough trucks will do their battles on a Z-shaped obstacle course. More on that as we get into the action, but you can see the fans are still filing in as we are just about to get ready to go with the best trick competition. And starting off the competition in a field of 6 trucks here tonight will be one of the toughest of these second-generation phenoms, and a guy who's stepping up each and every week, Montana Robbins out of Hawkins, New York, in the Empire Flyer Plane Crazy. Straight up and down to start off the best trick competition, the FTI-sponsored Plane Crazy, the bright blue Silverado out of the Empire State, looking good here. The open front end may plague him tonight, though on the tarmac we've seen him do well on some very difficult tracks, but of the 2 brothers of the Robbins family, the least experience behind the wheel goes to Montana, but again, stepping up quickly. Let's see what he's got here. Nicely done, stands it up with the stoppie, trying to get it into a moonwalk, almost got it there. We look at this run again, and a beautiful pair of moves at that, starting off very strong. Gonna make it hard on everybody that comes up behind him. An awesome move, standing straight up and down on the back of the race lanes. A score of 7 out of 10. That's pretty good early in the field. Up next, part of the Toluchka family out of Kewanee, Wisconsin, Michaela Toluchka in Miss Get Her Done. 79 dent side Ford with the Patrick chassis and the Mitch Toluchka horsepower. Got it up there, nicely done with the stop. I don't know if that's going to be enough by itself to get her to that top spot, but a solid move for the Cobblestone Hotel and Suites sponsored Get Her Done, Miss Get Her Done here this weekend. Black and silver Ford out of the Dairy State. Let's see what she's got for her second hit. Going for a little hang time under those big Michelins, but I think the wet pavement may have cost her there when she got on the throttle. The tires blew off a little bit. May have gotten more air coming back the other way as well, but nothing to be ashamed of as she opens it up with a strong move with the stoppie. It'll be a score of 4 for Miss Get Her Done, Michaela Toluchka. Now in second place. Up next, the other half of the Toluchka family in the Packer Fasteners Ford Just Get Her Done Gen 2 Super Duty, another Patrick chassis machine. This one with the Richard Midget horsepower in the back. Normally has a Mitch Toluchka power plant, but right now waiting on parts, and he is looking good here. Look at the precision driving for Brandon Toluchka. Standing it up and walking it on the nose. He'll reset. See what he has for his second move. Looking for variety, trying to give these fans something they haven't seen yet. Talk about a guy who's as creative as anyone. Let's see what Brandon can do. Going for the popper. Nicely done. Little pucker factor on that one as he stood it on the back of the chassis. But Brandon Tolochka trying to raise the bar, and I think he may have done so there with the Packer Fastener Ford out of Kewanee, Wisconsin. Look at him again. Just putting it vertical there right on the wheelie bar. Using that 540 cubic inch engine to put the power back to the ground. A score of 9. He's 1 point away from taking it all, and that leaves just a little room at the top, and there are still some tough trucks to go. In the second half of our field, here comes John Zimmer Jr. out of Arlington, Vermont in terminal velocity, the Big Bad Willies. And the wet pavement hurts him there. That's going to cost him some points early in the competition. It's going to be nearly impossible for him to make up what he just lost, but we'll see what he can do. This guy is one of the most fearless drivers behind the wheel of these big trucks. The North Star Ranch terminal velocity going for hit number 2. Beautiful job right there. Definitely raised the bar as far as that move was concerned, but that first hit again is going to cost him. Zimmer and his father doing an immense amount of work with this chassis to bring it up to date with the way trucks are built now to allow them to do exactly what you're seeing there and not drag the front of the frame. He'll still do that from time to time, but keeps him from catching and flipping him over. You can see how far over the edge he's willing to put it to try to get a win. A score of 6, not bad considering he lost his first move. Up next, though, another member of the family out of the Empire State, not too far from home this weekend, Triton Robbins in Crazy Train. Plant the front end and get after it there with the moonwalk going over the ramp sideways as he reverses back over top of it. What does he have for hit number 2? This is a tough competition, probably one of the best trick competitions we've seen to start this event off in the time we've been coming to this one. What's he got next? To the van stack with a slap wheelie. Doing it different. He destroyed that obstacle when he came over. And I don't know if you can see what flew up in front of him right there, but he just crushed a toaster oven that they found inside of that thing earlier. Ripping up the race ramp there in the left-hand lane, coming back. Triton Robbins looking good in Crazy Train. Watch this, watch right in front. You see that toaster oven on top of that car? Watch him run over it as it falls on the back of the stack right there, flat as a pancake. Crazy Train. Nicely done. The score to beat is a score of 9. How did he do? He ties the number 1 spot right now. Triton Robbins in Crazy Train, now tied with Brandon Tolochka. Up next, one of the wildest guys and one of the wildest trucks. This is Zach Garner out of Fortville, Indiana in Wildside. Just calmly holding it up there, working the rear steering in the Market Savings Bank Wildside. Here on the tarmac, the Eddie Micah chassis getting the job done right there. Zach Garner opening up his run strong now. He has got to try to top himself because there's only 1 point left at the top. He cannot rely on something simple. Let's see what he does. What does Garner have left in Wildside to go after that final point on the board? Nice control popper right there. Was it enough? Heating up the tires. Remember, it's only the first two moves that count. Brilliant run for the gentleman out of Fortville, Indiana, the Marquette Savings Bank Wild Side, sponsored by North Star Ranch. That crazy looking Silverado standing and on the nose. Again, look at him work the rear steering as he just calmly rides it out. A lot of control shown during that run. That was a brilliant pass, but was it enough? The scores are coming in right now for the Wildside machine out of Indiana. And he will do it, taking the #1 spot. Zach Garner in Wildside opens it up with a perfect score in the best trick competition, and that will put him on top of the board for the beginning of the night. Racing is coming up, though. He's going to have to go some. Again, not one easy opponent in this field as he accepts the accolades and the trophy. We're just getting underway. Not only do we have the monster truck, as I mentioned, we have the rough trucks on the way when we come back to Lake Erie Speedway.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Monsters Monthly. For up-to-date info, media, and all your other monster truck needs, visit monstersmonthly.com. And by Crush This. For a look inside the world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, a Monster Truck podcast.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventures. We're at the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter. Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo. Gotta check it out. This week we're going to go down memory lane.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by RPM Army. For a wide array of content from across the motorsports world, visit rpmarmy.com. Your high-performance fix on the go.
Welcome back to the Lake Erie Speedway. We're going to get back to action right away. You see Stacy Jensen on the starting line now for rough truck competition, and there's a legend waiting for the green out of Little Meadows, Pennsylvania, the godfather of rough truck racing, Jake Nichols in Foy Toy. This run will give you a good indication as to what the monster trucks will be taking on a little bit later. If it's tight for these tough trucks, you know it's going to be tight for the monster trucks as Jake Nichols in Foy Toy wraps up his rough truck qualifying pass, a 26.93 with a bobble in the turn. It looks like he overshot the corner a little bit, went in a little bit hot. Now Mike Leupold out of Appalachia, New York in Warhorse. The Jeep chassis underneath the long wheelbase Ford Bronco. Nicely done. He'll pick up the pace. A 16:12 far and away from the team captain, Jake Nichols. So the man out of Appalachia, New York, definitely setting the new pace for the rest of the field. Up next, a fan favorite. This is Brett Sponenberg, the wild man in beer money out of Bloomsburg. Couple of bobbles in this run, gonna slow him down. We'll see if he can beat the time. Not gonna do it in 1880, so Mike Leupold continues to lead in Warhorse. Up next, the Swamp Donkey, Paul Hackle out of Vestal, New York, with the Bronco chassis Jeep. went up and over the turn marker. Almost got himself in trouble there. A 1791 for Hackle. Loopold continuing to lead in the Warhorse as Hackle heads back to the pits. Up next, Scott Martin in the Martin Towing Ford Golf All in Ass. Working that Windsor horsepower around the final turn. A little bobble there as well. A good run, but I don't think, no, he's not going to get ahead of the guys who ran in front of him. Unfortunately, he will better Nichols, but I guarantee you Martin's going to be looking for more. Speaking of Martin, here comes the other Martin family member, Jimmer Martin, in Bad Intentions. Not sure if something went away on him there. There was a bobble, or he was just trying to make sure he was set up for that final jump, but he's not going to get to the top spot. Remember, though, this is just qualifying. It's just to set the pairings in round one of Rough Truck Eliminations. It's Jake Nichols will be taking on Mike Loopold. That'll be Beer Money. Brett Sponenberg taking on Bad Intentions, so you just saw Jimmer Martin. And then the Battle of the Donkeys, Scott Martin and Hauling Ass taking on Paul Hackle in the Swamp Donkey. Now we take a look at our round one bracket in monster truck racing on the Z-shaped obstacle course. The brothers, Robbins right off the top. Crazy Train and Plain Crazy. Then it's Brandon Toluchka and the Packer Faster Ford taking on Wildside and Zach Garner. And then a battle of the happy couple, Terminal Velocity. John Zimmer Jr. taking on his significant other in Miss Get Her Done. That's Michaela Toluchka. Now the brothers doing battle off the top side of the bracket. We will see. We'll see if Montana can upset Triton in this one. He's on the outside lane in the first turn, but that means he'll have the quicker way around on the final turn. We'll see which lane pays off and who has the driving ability on this difficult obstacle course. Open front end continuing to hurt Plain Crazy. Going to be all Crazy Train going into the semifinal round with a win. We'll see if Montana's run holds on for the fast loser position as we pull three winners out of this round. And somebody will have to take on the fastest loser to make a bracket of four trucks there. Two sets of two in the semifinal round. As our next pairing rolls to the line, there you see Zach Garner in Wildside. He will take on Brandon Toluchka and the Packer Fastener. Just Get Her Done Gen 2 Super Duty. Wisconsin and Indiana about to do battle here on the tarmac of Lake Erie Speedway. This should be a good one. For Toluchka. Look at Garner coming back on him. They almost get together there in the middle. Garner with a bobble in the final corner, but the Packer Fastener Ford not able to take advantage of it. However, right now Brandon Toluchka may be on track to be the fast loser. He did outrun Montana Robbins, so right now he is on that bump spot for the next round. We watch again from the overhead cam. Watch the inside corner going to the white Ford. He bobbles though, going way wide right there, having to avoid that freestyle ramp. And look at the momentum that Zach Garner comes from that outside lane to that final inside corner. Maybe to your advantage to be on the outside in the final turn if you can get that first section right. But both of them had some trouble on that run. Kind of a battle of errors there. Nothing against these guys, though. It's easier said than done as our final pairing gets ready to come to the line. There you see John Zimmer Jr. in the North Star Ranch Terminal Velocity Willis chassis that he and his father put a lot of time into kind of reconstructing, getting it set to go to war here with these newer generation trucks going side by side with Miss Get Her Done. That's Michaela Toluchka. Battle of the happy couple. Zimmer about ready to go toe-to-toe with his girlfriend here on the starting line of the Lake Erie Speedway. Both of them looking pretty good right now. get the job done there. I'm wondering if she's going to have something to say to him about that. John Zimmer Jr. and Terminal Velocity going on to the semifinal round, and there you see the matchups coming up in our four-truck semifinal round. The Final Four, Crazy Train taking on Wild Side, and then it'll be Terminal Velocity taking on the Packer Fastener Ford, and we'll see if Michaela's brother comes back to get a little revenge on the boyfriend for leaning on her like that. We'll see. 3 trucks are down, 4 to go. Racing action continues next. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Lake Erie Speedway in a little town in northeast Pennsylvania as the winds continue to blow in off of the lake. Luckily, the rain has held off this year as we had some massive storms last year that drenched this track. We actually have pretty beautiful weather tonight. It's keeping it kind of cool, which is good for the fans out here and good for those big blower motors. But now we're going to shift gears back to the rough truck racing, a pair of 800 plus horsepower lightweight rough trucks, pair of Broncos. Well, a Bronco in the near lane and a Jeep chassis vehicle on the far side. Foy Toy and the Warhorse. Nichols trying to come back on him, but he had to avoid the K-rails there as he slides around up here on the front stretch. Remember, we'll also pull one fast loser from this first round as Warhorse takes the early victory in our first pairing. Up next, pair of twin Broncos, Bad Intentions and Beer Money. Jimmer Martin and Bad Intentions closest to the camera, taking on Brett Sponenberg out of Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. This will be the Owego, New York. The Black Bronco out of the Empire State taking on the Blue Bronco out of the Keystone State. Final corner, Chuck Plumley pulling for Beer Money. Here comes Jimmer, not going to get there. Beer Money picking up a victory here in the first round. They're still flying right now. I think we can give them this whole track and let them work their way around it as our final pairing comes to the line. Battle of the Donkeys, hauling ass. The Martin Towing Machine, that beautiful blue Ford out of Owego, New York, taking on Vestal, New York's Paul Hackle in the Bronco chassis Jeep called Swamp Donkey. Problem on the line for Hackle. He is behind. It's hard to tell with him staggered like this, but Hackle is going to have to go some. Made up a little ground there, but a problem in the final leg. Scott Martin and Hauling Ass will move on into the next round, and we will see in just a moment who our fast loser will be. Martin happy with that victory right there. You can see the smile on his face. There's a look at our pairings in the semifinal round of rough truck racing. Mike Leupold will take on Brett Sponenberg. It's Warhorse and Beer Money. And then Scott Martin and Hauling Ass taking on Jake Nichols, the Godfather, in Foy Toy. Great crowd on hand here tonight. Very lively and electric. Bunch of folks, as always, here in Northeast, ready to get the thunder back on the track as we go to semifinal round monster truck racing. And here is a pair of guys who are building a rivalry fast this weekend. Zach Garner on the top side in Wild Side, taking on Triton Robbins in the wild-looking Crazy Train. from right down the road in Lawrence, New York. With the momentum from the outside, picks up a very popular victory here at the Lake Erie Speedway. Crazy Train working the track to perfection. He was slipping and sliding around that thing, holding on that razor's edge. Watch him again. Working hard up in that cab right now. Triton Robbins in Crazy Train. He's got one more round to get through, and that's the last round. But who will his opponent be? Look at the top-end charge. Garner getting out of shape there. It's a good thing he collected himself, or he may have been sitting over here underneath the Crazy Train as Triton came down. What a leap across the finish line for the big bad choo-choo out of Watkins, New York. One more matchup here in the semifinal round. It's going to be John Zimmer Jr. in Terminal Velocity taking on the brother of his girlfriend, who he just leaned on to get around the final corner. Tolochka made that same mistake he made in the first round. At that time, though, as it appears that Terminal Velocity is having steering problems. Zimmer working that truck hard, but he did not have full control over it. A good race between those two. As it does appear, these runs will get faster and faster and faster. I cannot wait to see what these guys do when we come back here tomorrow. Now that they've got a few runs on this track, and absolutely steering problems for John Zimmer Jr. in Terminal Velocity. Not the way he wanted to go out of competition, and not the way that Brandon Tolochka wanted to beat him, but he gave Brandon all he wanted, and that is how Brandon got here. Came back in as a fast loser when he was defeated by Zach Garner, then went against Zach's teammate right there in Terminal Velocity. There you see Tolochka actually headed over to try to help that team. Then Crazy Train knocked out his own brother Montana Robbins in Plain Crazy, and as you just saw, knocked out Zach Garner in Wildside, who beat Brandon Tolochka in the first round. So Tolochka gets the rebirth in to the championship race, where he will take on Triton Robbins in Crazy Train. Now back to the line with our pro rough trucks. The Appalachian New York Warhorse going against Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania's own Beer Money. This is only 6 members, by the way, of the Foytoy family. There is a massive group of these guys here in the Northeast, and you can see they all run hard. Look at Loophole trying to put the move right there on Sponenberg. Loophole making it work for him. It's been a learning curve here over the last couple of years to find the rhythm, find the feel of that longer wheelbase, that Jeep chassis that he's working with now with that longer wheelbase Ford Bronco machine. He used to have a truck that's very similar to Beer Money, but he totaled it back in 2018 with an end-over-end crash, a very violent crash. Hopefully never see anything like that again, but these guys do run hard. Now is our final pairing. We'll see who's going to take on Mike Loophole in the championship race. Two good friends on the starting line, Scott Martin and Hall and Ass, taking on the Godfather in Foytoy. Together, did you see Jake Nichols pouring on over the roller in the monster truck lane? Gave himself an extra obstacle at full speed and pulled off the victory. So it will be Foytoy rematching with Warhorse, a rematch of our first pairing from the first round as work continues now underneath of the Terminal Velocity machine. These guys trying to get this truck ready for freestyle. There you see Mitch Tolochka coming over to help John Zimmer get that thing back on the track. We'll see if they're able to make it back for freestyle. They're frantically over there trying to get that thing to straighten up and get him through the end of this competition, see if he can pick up some points on the overall championship here on Friday night as we get ready for our championship matchup here on the tarmac of the Lake Erie Speedway. The sun setting on the western side of this facility. Here comes Crazy Train. The big bad choo-choo out of the Empire State, a fan favorite, about to go toe-to-toe with that beautiful Super Duty out of Kewanee, Wisconsin. Two very competent drivers. Again, there are no gimmies in this competition this weekend. Everybody very capable and everybody going hard. And look at this! Robbins climbing up on Brandon Toluchka's Packer Fastener Ford. He was just supposed to go nose-to-nose with him, trying to egg him on, going to psych him out right there on the front stretch. Toluchka not going to go quietly after that. We will see if he is able to knock out a guy who has been blisteringly fast here tonight. Triton Robbins and Crazy Train, the final round of monster truck racing on a very tough C-shaped obstacle course. Robbins, by the way, is right where he wants to be. He likes to charge off of that outside corner on the final leg and carry more speed there. He's willing to give up the outside leg on the first part of the course where he could technically pick up speed coming back, but that inside corner on the final turn can slow you down. We'll see, though, if the Packer Fastener Ford can take advantage of that shorter way around on the final turn. The final pairing, here we go. Robbins almost got himself in trouble. They're right there together. Once again with the charge off of the wider final corner, Triton Robbins in Crazy Train is your racing champion here on Friday night at Lake Erie Speedway.
The winner goes to Triton Robbins, the Choo-Choo Train.
It's Kimberly Robbins, the mother of Triton in Montana, Bob's wife, and man, it's been great to see this family just growing leaps and bounds, and he was so fast here tonight in Crazy Train.
When it comes to racing, no one's quicker than Triton and the Choo-Choo Train. The Crazy Train back in victory lane on the All-Star Tour.
Chuck Plumley, All-Star Tour track announcer, waiting on Triton to come up top.
Make some noise for Triton, the Choo-Choo Train. We've talked about it, stiff competition, but all of you guys are second-generation superstars. You guys are all children of future Hall of Famers, legends, and veterans in the sport. How good is it to beat the stiff competition and put the Choo-Choo Train in victory lane here at Lake Erie Speedway?
It definitely feels great. It's nice to be so close to them. But I do want to give a second, give a shout out to whoever back in the pits. They're absolutely killing them back there, keeping those trucks running. And hell of a competition we got here this weekend. So shout out to them.
Very happy team out of the Empire State. Triton Robbins, again, they are not too far from home up here at the Lake Erie Speedway, and Triton very happy with that victory. Now we have another championship battle to settle. The teammates, Warhorse in the far lane, that's Mike Loophole taking on Jake Nichols in Foy Toy. Nichols looking tough. They're right there together in the final corner. Couldn't get the drive in time, and Warhorse will pick up the victory. So, a pair of red machines out of the Empire State take it all here in racing at the Lake Erie Speedway as Leupold celebrates the victory in front of the fans. We're going to take a quick break and come back with freestyle. Well, as the sun sets off the western side of the northeast farmland, we get ready to wrap up action here at Lake Erie Speedway. The fans on their feet for Monster Truck Freestyle, and it's going to start where we started earlier. Montana Robbins in the FTI sponsored Plain Crazy. Getting the crowd warmed up. Looking good. The family was worried about binding brake rotors earlier in the day. They actually had to do some significant work under the front and rear of this truck, and you can see the sparks coming off of the differential. Not letting it slow him down, but he's got to be feeling that. Those brake rotors are definitely binding again, both in the front and rear. A lot of sparks coming out from underneath of this truck. Using that big chance set horsepower to put it to the track. Montana Robbins opening things up strong in Plain Crazy. We will see what the score is officially after the run he just laid down. Did a nice job getting the vertical air. Score of 20, not bad considering the problems he had on that run. Montana Robbins setting the pace in Plain Crazy. Up next, Michaela Toluchka and the Cobblestone Hotel and Suites Miss Get Her Done. One of the big keys on this track is keeping up the momentum. She's doing a good job here. Space to work with. If you don't get obstacle to obstacle, it's hard to keep that score up. She's doing a nice job in the Miss Get Her Done. Dent side Ford now going for the two-wheel action. Let's see if she can get it up on the nose. Nicely done for Michaela Toluchka. Michaela Toluchka in Miss Get Her Done, wrapping up a solid run. Score to beat is a 20. She does a nice job on this, keeping the momentum up. Nicely done with the two-wheel moves and some good hang time. It's going to be a score of 17. I don't know if she's going to agree with that, but that's what will go down on paper. Up next, Brandon Toluchka in the Packer Fastener 4 Just Get Her Done Gen 2 Super Duty, also out of Kewanee, Wisconsin. Nice hang time right there for the Packer Fastener Ford, and again follows it up with some more nice air. Got himself in a little bind right there. Didn't want to get over by that ride truck. Hard sideways landing on the right-hand side. Not sure what happened there. I don't know if he was pulling the belts down or what, but he has a little pause mid-run. Let the truck get straightened back out, maybe. Nicely done. Kicking it over hard. Momentum has been awesome so far. And Toluchka will wrap up an awesome run right here on the front stretch of Lake Erie Speedway. Look at that hard landing. It looks like he may have stopped there to allow the shocks to decompress as he lays a score of 24 on the board to take the top spot. Brandon Toluchka in the lead as John Zimmer Jr. comes flying out in terminal velocity. Pushing it hard. He's been fighting steering problems this weekend. Zimmer absolutely burning up the rubber here on the infield of the famed tarmac of the Lake Erie Speedway. Going for the two-wheel move. He's got it on the nose. Walking it back toward the ramp. Bringing it back up on top. That's awful steep. Smoking the Marchers. As he rotates the big wheelies down into the infield, back up onto the front stretch to wrap up a phenomenal performance. What a run for John Zimmer Jr. Scores coming in. A 28 to take the number one spot, leaving 2 points at the top. For our final two competitors, here comes Triton Robbins in Crazy Train. One Racing, did very well in Best Trick, has the opportunity to take the overall here tonight with a good freestyle run. Start he was hoping for, and immediately has problems. Something did fall out from underneath of that truck when he did that, or when he tried to do that stoppie. Not sure if something broke in the drivetrain. So we'll get another look at it. Keep an eye under about the center, right around the cradle. Watch when he goes and gets on the brakes. Well, look at that. Shaved a chunk of the drivetrain off on the K-rail when he went for the stoppie. A score of 3. The overall will not happen tonight, and that's a very disappointing conclusion for the family out of Lawton's, New York. They'll have a shot to get back in this thing tomorrow, but a lot of work stands in front of this family of monster truck competition as our final competitor rolls out on to the asphalt surface. Zach Garner out of Fortville, Indiana in Wildside. Silverado out of Fortville, Indiana. Burning the tread off those big 66s as he works his way around. Absolutely crazy cyclone donuts. Looks like the rear steering might be locked right now. There it goes. Trying to set up for something else. What's he got left? Burning up the front stretch of the Lake Erie Speedway, Zach Garner in Wildside, looking for a victory right here in Northeast Pennsylvania. What is the score? Another look at this big hang time from turn number 1, back down into the infield. A huge leap. 28, he ties John Zimmer Jr. Who will get the cheer off? Garner picking up the freestyle victory and therefore the overall here tonight at Lake Erie Speedway. It has been awesome so far, but this is just part 1 of a 2-part weekend. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time from right here at Lake Erie.